Hi there, YouTubers. We are going to do a little bit of a walk around here. As a lot of you guys know, I hope I'm in that thing. It sure looks like I'm awful far away, and the sun's probably in the wrong angle. So maybe we'll go down here. You know, I'm not too good at this. We'll go down here and see if this is a better angle. Maybe the sun isn't quite so bad. If I get it up about that high, in about there, raise it up! Oh my goodness, it's hard pulling this thing out of the tripod. Maybe we'll be a little bit better there. Anyhow, as a lot of you guys know, I set this YouTube up probably, or somebody else set the YouTube up for me because I wasn't smart enough. And still not. For helping other people with sawmills. So a gentleman emailed me last night. I don't remember his name, and I'm not smart enough to write it down, and I'd lose it if I wrote it down. Wanted to know how I had my track attached. So this is going to be a track attach video in amongst the rain. I got out a little early. It's about 11:30. It was 35 degrees when I got out, but it's really better today than it was yesterday. It was 41, I think, and it was so cloudy and it was nasty out. I didn't get anything done yesterday. I didn't make a movie. I did a little bit of chipping. I run stuff through the grinder for about an hour a day, and that's about if I feel like it. You know, every other day or something like that. Maybe one day I'll get two loads done, but it's coming along. So we're going to do a walk around on that too. I want to thank everybody that's sending me you know you should buy it if. So you know you should buy it if it's going to become yard art. That's mine for today. And I was going to write down the names and all the stuff that people wrote, but I know I'd miss somebody and somebody get angry, or maybe I put the wrong one in front of the other one and stuff like that. So I think that the best thing to do is go back and look at that video, and I think you'll get a chuckle out of a lot of them, and a lot of them really hit home with me. So I think it's interesting to watch. The table issue, you know, the table, like I said in the video, will not work for everybody. These big time guys like Chris in the wood yard, I don't think the table thing would work for him. It might, I don't know. You just have to, it's basically an idea. Like I've said in a lot of videos in the past, your wood splitting changes from time to time to time to time, or evolves. Let's say it evolves. And depending on the equipment you have, it might change. You know, I didn't always own a little John Deere tractor, and then I started moving wood, and then I realized, you know, why do helicopters and airplanes always come over when I try to do a video? Anyhow, realized that, I'll tell you what happened is I almost tipped the tractor over because I had a load on it, and it wasn't a very big load. The tractors nowadays pick up a lot more than the tractors of the olden days. They've reconfigured something, I don't know. But that tractor I have with a loader on it just couldn't really lift a whole heck of a lot. Anyhow, so hats off to or thank you for all the people that have sent me that. The turtle, I haven't quite decided what I'm going to name it yet. I did send him out and I had a I don't know what, a facelift maybe? I don't know. I'll show them to you in a minute if I remember, but I'll probably forget. But we're going to show you how I have this mill, how I have these fastened down, and then we're going to go to the #1 mill and show how those are fastened down. Because it is kind of interesting, and I hope I was in that video. So on this end of the track, okay, now this is a 10-foot piece of track. I got 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces per 10 foot. Then I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the next section, I think, because the center section's 15 foot. Then in the place where I guess the sawdust goes or the husk falls on, it looks like there's 1, 2, 3. There might be 4 back here, but I don't think so. And then this just goes down to the Great Wall of China. Now these are tied in. I don't know if it's in a real old video or not. These logs here are tied into those logs. Yeah, maybe that one's not. Maybe that one was so big I didn't have one big enough to do it. But see how there's bolts in here? Those are tied down to the lower section of the ones in the back, and I guess that's probably all I did to keep them from moving. You can see there's a big bolt coming out there. That one must have been so big I just didn't do it. The reason that I have more on this end of the mill is because that's where you flip the logs down at. And when that big, 2,000-pound log goes boom, if you watch Mark up at Bus Motor Production and March Galici, you would see what I'm talking about at the boom. Anyhow, then I have, so that's on top of that. Then these are pressure treated. Then these are, that one's loose as a matter of fact. Better tighten it down. They work their way loose from all the time, so you got to keep them on. And some of them I needed chains on them. Now that one's nice and tight, but that's how I've tied them down. And you can see in here, I just got a U-bolt over there. There's another U-bolt on there. So this little section, see, this is where two of them come together, and you can see they get a little offset. They move around. I don't know if I got one on this one or not. Doesn't look like I got one on that, but there's also what do you call it? Can't think of it. Rebar drilled in there and goes all the way down into there quite a ways too. So that's how those are held down on this side. And most of them have turnbuckles on them. There's a turnbuckle, there's a turnbuckle. Now the ones in the front don't have turnbuckles. The ones in the front, I made these brackets, okay, that go down into here, and there's screws, so I can move this track left or right, and I can shim it up underneath here, raise it up and down, so I can move this track anywhere I want. See, here's another one where it's an adjusting nut. It's just something I made. It wasn't it's nothing fancy. It's got a flat piece of, I guess, 1/2 inch there, and this is probably 1/4 inch here, and then this looks like 1/4 inch angle iron and a nut welded on it. Now when I come down to where the track meets here, I've got two of them. I got one pusher, but these are two different pieces here, and I guess you can't see it because this is all frozen in, but there's a piece here and a piece here. So once again, I can move this one different from that one. I have a turnbuckle here going over there because the track just didn't want to stay particularly straight. Here's a this is frozen in right now. There's a turnbuckle here that holds it down. You can kind of see it underneath there. These are holding it pretty good here. Then on the other side, let's see, on the husk, okay, the husk has got, looks like there's must be another pole back here. Yeah, here's another one. So it goes all the way back to here. So there are 4 poles on the mud sills. Okay, there's a pole there, there's a pole there, and then there's a pole there and a pole there. And like I said, because this is where the log goes boom when you flip it down, it needs a lot more support. I found that to be true, and I don't know, whatever, just true. Here's another one of those double ones. See it? Kind of got some sawdust in here. I didn't clean it out properly, and these aren't wet. This isn't wet here and frozen, but you can see how it divides. It divides right there. I look and I don't always put the camera there. And then this in this area here, those are wedged in. They're wedged into the mud sill. So that's how that is. Here's another one of those. And it works out pretty good at the end. I think I'm just letting it fly. No, I put another one here at the end. Now I have this in case you run off the end of the track. It was just an extra piece of track I had, and every now and then I run a little bit too far and it bounces and stuff and goes goofy. So that's where we're at here, and then we're going to run down to the other mill. I'll show you some of the cleanup I got going on. I've got this cleaned up over here and shoveled out. I'm still working on this, but you can see this pile is almost in half now. As far as moving we talked a couple times about moving the chipper. By the time I pull a 24-foot piece out of that, I'm back in the woods. It's easier to just carry it up and throw it in the chipper than put it on the bobcat and put it on the forks. Now, when I did this side over here, I put it on the forks, but I want all the chips in the same spot. I want all the chips in this dugout area that was going to be a shooting range once upon a time. There's what I got in chips. Look how animals get in there and dig in that stuff. They dig in a lot of stuff. That's an animal dig there. But that's a big pile of telephone poles there. And I still got a lot more to go. I'm thinking about spreading some of that around the other side over here. There's those burls, iron and oaks, Sawmill. I think he's interested in them. He might get them. I don't know if it's worth the trip down or not. I don't have nothing to do with those. This log is the one that had the metal in it. We're going to take that up to the other mill, I think. Kind of made voyage really on the other mill. The other one I did a little bit, but I think that I want to be number 1,000 video, is that sawing on the other mill. So I got to get it up there. I plan on doing that today. See, I've got all this stuff cleaned up. All this is now I've taken 4 yards of bark and sawdust and debris from underneath the log deck, and there's still a bunch of stuff up here. All these have nails in them, so they don't go through the chipper until I take the nails out, or I might just burn them. I haven't really decided what I'm going to do. So, and in past videos you used to go through here, and there was a bunch of stuff in here that I've removed a ton of stuff in here. So that's where we're at there. There's the shiny saw blade. Yep, I put oil on it at the end, and this pitch that gets on there from doing the pine, after you put that on there, see how easy, oops, I'm looking at it, and see how easy it comes off. So the first blade I get into, or first log I get into with knock off the slab, those will come right off. So it makes it come off easier. All right, that's it here. You kind of see how the mill's held on here. We're going to go up to the other mill and show you how I have that one. That one's down a little bit different. Is it better? Is it worse? I don't know. There's pros and cons on that. Trying to think if there's anything else back here. I should probably take the tripod, but I don't think I'm going to. You just have to put up with Shaky John. Those are boards that I haven't decided what I'm going to do with. They were down on the ground underneath all that stuff. That pole that's right here, that used to be, I mentioned in one of the other videos, there used to be a building over all this. Or not a building, there was I guess a frame. And that was one of the holes that I took the foundation out of, or whatever. It was in the way. And then there was a hole there, and I kept falling in the hole, and I didn't put dirt in it, so I put a chunk of wood in there. All right, let's go down and see how we have the other mill hooked up. So I'm going to take that log and bring it down to the new mill. We don't go this direction too often. Woo! Chilly out here, guys. It was, like I said, 35. Not too bad when you're standing still with the sun getting on you, but when you're driving, I guess there's a wind chill factor, a 15-mile-an-hour wind chill factor, because that's what I'm doing right now. Well, 14. I got 2 days of not great weather, but decent weather, enough that you can get out and do stuff with. You can see it's still muddy. It won't dry up until spring now, unless it freeze dries and stays frozen all day long. Yeah, this is real sticky here. We should probably drive around back, but maybe not. Let's see how close we can get to seeing what we want to see. I think I might saw those logs up today or tomorrow. I have 2 days, like I said. There's rain, sleet, and ice storms coming in on Thursday, and today is Tuesday. So if I just don't like them in the way. Those up there, I think I'll probably cut them up. Up here, this track, I think it'll show. I'm not sure. The footers in here are put in on I think these are 4'2" also. And I don't really, it's been so long. These are I-beams that go down in the ground 3 to 4 feet. Well, they're probably 3, 4, 5 feet deep. And the cross member here is welded onto there. And then there's 4 half-inch bolt. Maybe there's bolts on the inside. And then at that point, it can be shimmed. So I got the up and down. The in and out is not adjustable, which is really supposed to be a no-no. So you can see there's one back there, one there. I'm trying to look and then look in the camera. One there, one there. They're every 4 foot down at this end, I believe, because this is once again where it's going to go boom. There's a log turner, I got to finish sawing that log up. So then once you get down to the husk, now the I-beams the holes were drilled between 3 and 4 feet deep. They're 18 inches round, maybe 19 to 20, depending on how much they wobbled out. Then there was 2 foot of concrete put in each one of those holes, at least 2 foot, maybe 3 on some of them. And then the mud sill, same thing. I-beams, bolts, everything can be moved around or shimmed, so it can be adjusted. There's more bolts down there. There's more bolts over there. Then this is free between here and there, but it's on steel, so it's pretty good. I don't think there's a problem there. Then you can kind of see. Well, we'll go around. The husk has 4, or the mud sills have 4 holes in that. If you're wondering, this is how this is. I haven't really tried it out yet. I covered it up. Now you can see all on the back they're all put in and shimmed into whatever they are. But see, now they're at 5 foot apart. See, it's a little bit further apart. Doesn't look much further apart, but it's another foot apart. And those are getting to be pretty long things. Oh man, the daggone water bellies. You know, that's the trouble with a tarp. You got to have wood in there. Maybe I'll bring some of that pine I just cut down in there and make it better. But that's how it is. Then on this particular end, then there's steel bolted in down there. That's I think 8-inch channel bolted in there, holding all those in place. Then these legs here, or these pieces of steel here, go all the way out to support the rollers. So that's how that's put in. The 2 tracks are held together with bolts, and then they were welded pretty well. So that's how the track is put together. And that's kind of what this video is all about, is how I hold my track down. It's held with bolts. When we put this in place, the husk had to come up. So this is square tubing or rectangular tubing. It's 3/8, 1/4 inch or 3/8, and then just a plate on top and a plate on bottom, and then milled to the exact height we needed. That's how that was put in. Here there's a bolt that goes all the way through and it comes out down. I don't know where it comes out. It must come out on the inside of that. And I guess this one here probably comes on the inside of that too. Goes through from the top all the way down. Yeah, it's got the bolt on the inside, so it's bolted here, and then it's got a through bolt on it here. So it's down pretty substantially. So that's where that is. I'm trying to think what else. Not much. I haven't done any work on the blower that's down there. Well, it's ready to go, but I haven't messed with it. I got to move wood up to the boiler today, or move it around. I'm just moving what's around up there. That's one of the projects today. I'd like to get down here and start splitting some wood, but I don't have any ethanol-free gas to run the splitter with, so that ain't gonna happen. That's about it, guys. I don't have too much more. I might do a quick one on sawing this. This is really kind of, it's such it's poplar, and it's so dry that it was just super dusty to cut. And to cut this, I got to take that off. So, and with the storm coming in, oh, I know what I was doing. I was working on making the blade look a little bit better. I was wire brushing some of the rust off the blade. Smooth blade, I don't care. A smooth blade just, or a shiny blade looks just nicer to me than a dirty old rusted blade. And ran out of batteries, so, but that's what it looked like. You can kind of see it. It just doesn't. I can't get the right glare on it. The other side looks better to me. And I just use a wire brush and get it off, and then start throwing. That's what that little bottle over there. It's old diesel oil and regular oil, and keep it try to keep it shiny. That one's not as shiny as the new one, but it's, and once you start sawing with it, oh, there's my apple pie or pumpkin pie. Now it's almost like a cookie, isn't it? Anyhow, that's where we're at, I think. I'm gonna haul that pile of chunks and hunks. I got to get in here because this is going to get real sticky down here when the frozen on top thaws down a 1/4 of an inch. It's going to turn sticky. That's just chunks and hunks. I'm going to take that up the boiler and get rid of them in the next few days. I'm starting to get containers. There's a container there. There's another container over on the leaves as I'm chewing up the wood. And it's not too sticky. Maybe the next video will be sawing this stuff up. Anyhow, I'm glad you came along, and like I said, this video wasn't for everybody. It was for actually it's just kind of focused in for one guy. He wanted to see how the how I had the mill's ways bolted down, or track bolted down. So that's kind of what it's about. Appreciate you coming around. You can't see your name on the saw because it's covered up so the sun doesn't fade it. Thanks for stopping by. Hit the like button, subscribe button, and hit the bell icon if you want to see the next time I put a video up. Bye-bye now.